What is it?
Żytomierski.
Yeah, Żytomierski.
Thanks. I'll be sure to quickly.
And so basically, so this young man who started this Facebook page did it because he feels that that there's still a lot of anti-Semitism that exists in Poland, and that there has not been a kind of concentrated effort to address it. And so he felt one of the ways to address it was to do it online and to do it through the voice of this little boy. Mm-hmm. And so there are a couple things that are particularly interesting. There are other major Holocaust organizations that have obviously an online presence and have a Facebook presence. There's the museum in DC, Yad Vashem, the Auschwitz Museum, but this is the first one that focuses on one person and kind of uses him and his story as the focal point. And also, everybody who works at this organization is not Jewish. The young man who started this, he's 22. He's not Jewish, and he feels very much that it's important for him as a Pole to come to terms with his country's history. He feels that everybody older than he is still very anti-Semitic, and it's up to his generation to change that. So we're talking about a very young generation that's really kind of being self-critical and kind of searching for ways to change the dynamic. So the other thing is that when he initially started this, he did it anonymously. So it seemed like the little boy was talking. And then once it started getting a lot of media attention, that's how I found out about actually someone from the Deutsche Welle was talking about it. Then he kind of started to talk in the third person, but initially, because he felt it was more kind of immediate and powerful if it was done, if he spoke in the first person. So the article is about him, about what he's trying to do, but also about some of the criticism. When I talked to him, he said that there hadn't been very much criticism, and whatever negative comments were posted on Facebook, his friends, and there are like 2,000 and plus now fans of this little boy and of the Facebook page, kind of spoke out and tried to drown those negative voices. But it brings up a lot of issues. Who has the right to speak for the victim? What are some things that are, is it important the fact that he's not Jewish? Kind of what does that add or take away or change about what he's choosing to present? And these are kind of issues that he doesn't really think about. One of the things that he said to me was, I said, well, do you know any Jewish Poles, contemporary Jewish Poles, or do you talk to them or something like that? And he's like, no. First he says no, and then he says, well, I talk to one every day. That's Henio. Well, which is very kind of powerful, but at the same time, that's in the past and kind of what's going on in the future or in the present, and he doesn't really seem to have a lot of, interaction with that. So it's kind of all of these different things. So that's what the piece is about.